content creator Kerstin 𝗂𝗍𝗯. I empower women entrepreneurs by sharing business solutions on my show, Business Kare with Kerstin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Business Kare with Kerstin. My name is Kerstin 𝗂𝗍𝗯, and I am your host today. And I am also the CEO and the owner of the Business Leadership Excellence Institute, where we are on a mission to help women and entrepreneurs stop struggling in their business and to incorporate leadership and mindset tools and tips to help magnetize business to you and elevate your life. I am so excited. Today, we have an incredible show because this is one of my favorite topics, especially when we're talking about how to show up as a lady boss. And we're going to talk about what it is to be confident and vulnerable as a lady boss. I think this is something that specifically women, especially when you're in that business role, you're the one running the business. It's very easy to feel like you get that imposter syndrome feeling that's going because you're like, okay, I'm supposed to show up confident, but sometimes I'm just having a really god awful day. It can be very difficult. And so, but feeling like, oh, I can't really be vulnerable. I can't show that side. I got to show up perfect. Okay, let's go back to how I feel about perfect. You're going to hear me say this over and over. Perfect is gross. It is the worst level of energy possible. Okay, remember, as humans, we're energetic. And part of this is showing up perfect. The way we respond to perfect is we'll look at something and go, well, okay, it's perfect. Don't touch it. Just, we want to keep it stagnant. Or we think about that person who we think is quote unquote perfect. And we're like, hey, she's perfect, right? We don't respond to perfect well. So you don't have to worry about being perfect. It's really about how you're showing up and being confident and allowing that space for vulnerability, right? So how do we do that? It's learning to be confident with yourself, and how you show up is understanding it's the biggest gift that you give to the world, right? That's you fully being you in front of everybody. Now, I want to be very specific about something. This is not me giving you permission to show up as a hot mess. Okay. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just really be you in fully what your mission, what your purpose is in front of others. It's okay to say, hey, you know what? I love what I do. I feel it as my passion. I know it's my passion. I know it's my gift. I don't always know 100% how to bring this out someday, and there's days where, you think you have it figured out and then, wow, that did not work at all. Okay. We're all on this journey together. So that's part of what the growth factor is as a business owner. And ladies, you have to have that space where you can find your confidence, right? And you have to have that space where you can be vulnerable. That's part of why it's very important to connect with having accountability, making sure you have that space where you can talk through things with your business, have a business coach, right? As a business strategist, that's part of what I'm helping people do is let's look at all the areas where you are confident and the areas where you're maybe struggling, and allow yourself to be vulnerable in that conversation. That's where you grow. That's where you come up with more ideas. And that's where we get that micro part that, we're in the trenches with the business, connecting with the macro of what's the big picture, and make sure you're connecting the growth of both of those together, right? So that's something I want you to think about of make sure you're allowing the space for that gift to the world of you truly being you, bringing all your gifts and those conversations of vulnerability to the table, and then letting that grow. Growth requires accountability. So remember that. That's a very important part of your business success, is having that accountability. Now, I want to bring this incredible woman who has such a beautiful story, and she's done so many incredible things. You're going to absolutely love her. Her name is Jess Dahl, and let me bring up her picture here. Look at her. You can just feel the gorgeous energy just off this picture. Wait till you see her in person. She is a holistic life and leadership coach. Jess is a purposeful coach. She's a life coach for women to align themselves and their businesses through one-on-one coaching, masterminds, and retreats. She is a published author, which we're going to talk about her book here in just a little bit. She's a podcast host of Say Yes Anyway podcast. I love that. And co-founder of and Profit for the Wholeness Journey. So let's bring her up and let's talk about what her powerful practice is and how she's gone through this journey as a woman entrepreneur, and meet this absolutely gorgeous, energetic being that is bringing greatness to the world. Hello, Jess.
Hello. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me. That was an awesome introduction. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Well, we've known each other for many, many years. And so I've had the gift of watching your journey as, you know, we're just getting started into what is it to live your purpose. I know we had those conversations many times, right? And then to watch that, you know, you've had a lot of ebb and flow, we'll say, with
yes, 1,000%.
Yes. And so, you know, tell us a little bit about, because I'm going to share what your powerful practice is for your presence. And that's really understanding people can feel you, right? You don't need to try. You can be fully you and show it through the power of vulnerability. So tell me, what's that been like for you in your journey?
Yeah. Well, the journey is a journey. And so I think people need to realize that is one, I started off I had a lot of people tell me, oh my gosh, you're an incredible leader and you're, this and you're that. So I just kind of had these high expectations of what that looked like, almost like this box. I need to be this for everyone. And I remember, working with you, we did voice coaching, we did all that. And you had this moment where you were like, you don't like vulnerability, do you? And I was like, no, I don't. And it would come off.
There's that accountability.
It came off in my presence, but I didn't know that. I really didn't know. And so through that experience, I even went through another leadership training where she said the same exact thing, where I actually told her, I said, hey, I can lead a room. I can answer questions. I can speak about anything, but you need to help me unlock just the next step. And so there was it was an experiential journey that I had to go through. And essentially in that process, what I was told was, hey, Jess, you can do anything. It's amazing. I love that you're able to do that. You're an incredible leader, but you got to take this from your head to your heart. And how you really get what's in your head and how do you get what you really care about, who you truly are, and express that to us because we don't feel you. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know. So I was trying to figure it out, like almost try to figure out, how do I allow you to feel me? And so finally, I can't tell you that like, this is the concept of what happened 1, 2, 3, but I had to go through maybe 3 different times of a trial and error. And I finally broke through this thing of where I did not think about anything. All I got to was dropped into my heart about what I cared about, the people I care about, why I do what I do. And I created this crazy expression and people were like standing, screaming, oh my gosh, we got it finally.
Wow.
And there was a time where I was leading a group of people actually in Thailand. We were working with human trafficking out there. And I was on this retreat teaching people how to lead people into vulnerability. Did really not know how to do that. Conceptually, okay, 1, 2, 3, this is how you do it. But I really thought as a leader, if I take away from what their story is, then I'm not doing a good job as a leader. There was something that happened on this trip where I felt so deep in my heart, like this, like crazy something in my heart go to my throat. And I just was sobbing. And so I uncontrollably sobbed for about 45 minutes during that time in my head thinking, you better stop because these ladies are never going to follow you. What are you doing?
Right. Get it under control.
Yep. Get under control. And I finally just shared with the whole entire group that I was leading. I had a lot that I had to say, but I was so open and I was transparent and I was just, in such a vulnerable state of like, hey, I've been through this traumatic experience. I've been through this event. I've been through this hardship and this is how I feel. And I can't believe this happened. And so I allowed people into the process of what was actually going on. And through that, everybody else started to open up. And I told them, oh my God, I thought you guys would never follow me. And they were like, are you serious? Like, because you were so open with your journey, we want to follow you more. So through that's been the journey. And now, I mean, I don't know how to do it otherwise. Like, I just literally, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just sharing from my heart right in this moment of what comes up. And I feel that through that, as leadership and entrepreneurship and business and anything, that, you know, people can smell bullshit a mile away. And so if
they can,
yes, open and authentic to share where we're truly at. Again, to your point, it's not about being a mess, but hey, I've been through this. This is where I come from. This is where I am. And this is where I'm going. And so you can guide people through the process has been the most insane, beautiful thing ever.
I love that so much. That's so beautiful. And I feel you with that because, you know, people look at me as a, you know, executive presentation coach. Well, you're perfect. You have it all well together. And I'm like, you guys, this is not where I started. This was a journey myself, right?
Exactly.
I mean, I grew up very, very poor. I did not grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth. I had to learn these things too. And that's why I love, that's my heart, is sharing that forward of, here, I can help you feel more confident in that space, no matter where you're coming from. It's not about where you're from. It's about who you are right now and who you want to be. Right.
Yep, totally.
So I love that. And I think that speaks so much to your business care tip of loving. Yeah. I love that you say, love myself in the process. Right. And I love that I've heard you say the beautiful rhythms that come with that and the powerful relationships, and what type of things have you pulled to you, right? That magnetizing factor and loving yourself and all this process that you've gone through.
Again, that's a journey itself. And the thing I can think of most recent is I was in a really bad car accident. I got hit by a drunk driver not that long ago. And it's, you know, it's difficult. And to think that, okay, like, you know, to not be able to show up in the way that you're used to, or to not be able to like have the mental capacity that you're used to, or not to be able to like physically in the way that you're used to. And that's the thing, like I use that as one example, but we all go through such hardships, no matter what. It's not if, but when. And the process, again, which is something I still deal with, talking about vulnerability, it's not like I have it mastered, but it's a process of, okay, when I'm going through something, when thoughts pop up of like, oh my gosh, you should be here by now. Oh my gosh, this is your normal routine. This is the normal time you wake up. This is the normal time that you talk to this person in this kind of way. This is the normal, you should, you know, be able to have this type of energy. Like to be able to hug yourself. Like I literally do this practice of like hugging myself and being like, you're safe, you're okay, you are worthy no matter what. There was something that happened to you, a process, and this doesn't mean it's forever, but this is where you are in this exact moment. And so
I think that honors, like that gives you that space to honor what you're going through. Because here's one thing I always tell people is like, okay, there's this thing out there and it's called life.
Yeah.
And it's going to keep showing up.
Yeah.
You can have everything down just right and life will still continue to show up. Right. So totally. I think you're so spot on with, you do have to give yourself grace in those moments, right? That's what's so important about that. And you have a beautiful example of that in your book that you have. So this is Lead Your Whole Life. And we hear a lot of things about get here in life, get success in life, and get to a point. I love your approach with this of like, you guys, this is not a destination point. This is like we've been talking about today. It's a process and a journey your whole life. So what made you take that approach with this book?
So the approach with that was pretty much saying we are individuals on a holistic level. We have, you know, physically, we're a physical being. In our mental state, we have a mind, we have emotions, we have a career, we have families, we have like fun and joy. We have the things that make us us. And if we're not realizing, you know, and taking things from this perspective of, okay, we can't always be in balance, but we have this holistic life. How do we take care of each piece of them? And then how do we transform like leading ourselves through that process so we can lead other people. If we don't lead ourselves first, we can't lead anybody else. So it's really from that approach of, you want to make a difference in the world. You want to be the powerhouse that you are. You want to make, you know, a life change. You want to have the business you want to have. You want to have the family you want to have. You have to be able to cultivate the wholeness within yourself first. And then that is going to transform the way that you lead everything else.
I love that.
That's the concept of it. And it makes it so just applicable and also doable, where it's like, okay, here's your physical state. Where are you at? Here's your mental state. Where are you at? Here's this place. Where are you? So you're not lost in the sauce. It's practical, but it's also like, you can give yourself grace. But if you don't start with you, how can you give anything to anyone?
Yes, I absolutely love this. From the core, right? We're that candle that once we have our candle lit, we can light other people's candles and create that impact in the world. And thank you so much for coming. And she's coming all the way from Spain, my friends. You know, thank you so much for beautiful. I love it. So thank you, darling, for coming on the show. It's been so great to connect with you again. We're going to make sure that you have a connection to her book and that you can connect with Jess also, because she is literally out there all over the world making a difference. So thank you for being here, my dear.
Thank you.
Isn't she lovely? Again, she's just got this incredible energy that radiates connectivity, confidence, and vulnerability. And, you know, I love the fact that we connect with women like that. This is a conversation that we have many times at the Women's Leadership Coalition, where we're talking about those abundance principles and doing masterminds on the culture and courage. That's the courage part, and collaboration as a woman in leadership, or, you know, running your business. We would love to have you join that conversation. You can check out the Women's Leadership Coalition at 𝗫𝗍�institute.com. And we're looking forward to having you come again next time on Business Kare with Kerstin. It always airs on Mondays. So my friends, go out, make sure you are creating that impact. Don't forget to smile in every single doorway that you come through. And we'll see you next time on Business Kare with Kerstin.
You can learn more about my services and products at www.𝗫𝗍�institute.com. Make sure to join me every week on the SWE Media Network YouTube channel and wherever you listen to podcasts.